I've got a heart. I'm not so sure I'm willing to do that. I'm not so sure that's necessary. You know, they seem to be hardworking, good people, just like any other. So, you know, and that's what bothers me when people try to make it about race when it's not about race at all. I wanted to hit this story up right here. I think this is important. U.S. may strip SEC of powers in regulatory overhaul. The Obama administration may call for stripping the Securities and Exchange Commission of some of its powers under a regulatory reorganization that could be unveiled as soon as next week. People familiar with the matter said the proposal is still being drafted. It is likely to give the Federal Reserve more authority to supervise financial firms deemed too big to fail. So the Federal Reserve, who openly is saying they just lost, $3 trillion, $4 trillion? They just printed they gave out that $700 billion, which is really them stealing $14 trillion, because again, what they lend out compared to the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve, really merging even further with the IMF during the G20. I mean, this is unbelievable. The Fed may inherit some SEC functions, with others going to other agencies, the people said. On the table, giving oversight of mutual funds to a bank regulator or a new agency to police consumer finance products, two people said. The 75-year-old SEC, chartered to oversee Wall Street and safeguard investors, has seen its reputation tarnished as some lawmakers blamed it for the incipient financial crisis and failing to detect Bernie Madoff's $65 billion Ponzi scheme. The whole thing's a Ponzi scheme. I mean, come on. The call-in line's 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. Let's go to Jacob in Florida. Jacob, you're on the line.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I was just wondering, how do you think this the whole audit the Fed's going to actually work out? Do you think it will get anywhere?
You know, I was surprised to see how many co-sponsors that Ron Paul had for this bill. I would love to see it pass the House and then the Senate and then go to the president and see if he vetoes it or not. I mean, I'm hoping people get behind it. I have not seen it really on any mainstream media outlet, and it's not being promoted at all, and it still has this backing. So, let's hope. Let's make it an issue within the Patriot community. Let's call our local representatives. Let's call our congressmen and say, hey, we want this to go through. These people need to be held accountable.
Yeah, I've been trying to tell people about how the Federal Reserve is, basically a fraudulent bank and private bank, and they don't want to believe any of it. And I try to explain that they took $12.8 trillion back when it was that, but I mean, I don't know, the number just keeps going up, and they're like, they don't see it, even though they can't go to the bank, they can't get any money. They think that the bailout is actually a good thing.
Well, most people did think that the bailout was a good thing, and especially because, people that were listening to Fox while Bush was still in office and, were big promoters of the so-called conservative agenda. Oh, this is going to say if we don't do this, the banks are going to fail and small businesses are going to go under and they're going to have to take homes for everybody. Meanwhile, all that still happens, and they just steal trillions as they destabilize the economy even further. But because the television told them so, they parrot it like a mindless drone. I thank you for the call, Jacob. Let's go to Sean in Minneapolis. Sean, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
Hello there, Jason. I want to get your thoughts on a particular false flag that since 9/11 has been overshadowed, and I don't think is getting enough attention, even though it's been 14 years now. Oklahoma City. What's your perspective on that?
Well, I mean, look at all the evidence that you've got, and if you could turn down the radio in the background. Look at all the evidence you have. Let's look at Timothy McVeigh, for example. Timothy McVeigh is on film a year after he's supposedly out of the military, on a military base. The only media outlet that even talks about this and publishes it is Hustler Magazine. The videos are readily available on YouTube. He's in and out of tanks. He's on base. He's in uniform. Then you have the Ryder truck scenario, where a Ryder truck 2 weeks before the attacks is, for some reason, magically on an Oklahoma City base. Then you have the live videotapes of the events where Frank Keating, the governor, is on the phone with the local media and on camera with the local media talking about how there was 3 sophisticated bombs that did not go off, that were even bigger than the first, that were taken out by the bomb squad. And you can actually watch the bomb squad going in. Okay, you know that this is open record stuff. Then you find out, well, they're running a drill that morning, so the entire ATF section that's supposed to be in that building is actually in full bomb gear on the lawn.
There's always a drill going on too when these false flags occur. That's why I don't get these mainstreamers. Why aren't people picking up on this? There's always a drill going on. You'll notice that, and no matter where in the world it happens. On the day of 7/7, there was a drill going on.
Mm-hmm. It's magic, sir. It's magical coincidence with unicorns rode by leprechauns into a sea of gold and happiness. I mean, I don't understand. Well, listen, when they're running a drill, the head of Visor Consultants gets on television and BBC, Sky Television and BBC Radio, and he says, we're running a 1,000-man war game of blowing up the same exact 3 train stations at the same exact time. The hair on my arms is literally standing up. And he's like, I won't say their names, but the people we were running the drill for, they know who they are, and I am very unnerved by this. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh my God, does this guy even realize what he's a part of? And obviously he has no idea. He's an unwitting duper. He wouldn't win on television and radio talking about it. Those are the only 2 interviews where he talks about it. Then the media refuses to follow up on it, and people say, oh, that is just an extraordinary coincidence, and then it's totally and completely dropped. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, We Are Change Ireland confronts Peter Power about it, asks him who he was running the drills for. He gets very upset, and then he walks into a closet, sir. He walks into a closet. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Incredible. Yeah. Back to Oklahoma City. Whatever happened to, what the heck was he? Was he Army Intelligence? It was some guy, I think it was Army Intelligence or something like that, and he went before Congress and said, we need to do a thorough investigation because I'm suspicious about the explosion and how that occurred because... Yeah,
it was Benton Parton. Colonel Benton Parton did that book, and he was basically, I think he was part of the demolitions team, and he knew that building had been taken out with a bomb from inside, and it looked like demolition cutter charges. I mean, folks, if you believe that was a Ryder truck, why wouldn't they just release the video of the Ryder truck blowing up? Why did they have numerous witness accounts and the FBI openly putting out a description of a John Doe number 2? Why have people claimed to see the videos and prove that it wasn't just McVeigh there? Why make it all about one guy when this is obviously a sophisticated operation? It just blows my mind to this day. The best information I've seen about it are in Alex Jones's Masters of Terror and, of course, 9/11, The Road to Tyranny. I encourage people to pick them up at Infowars.com and make copies and hand them out. I thank you for the call, Sean. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Dan, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, good show. I just wanted to give you a bit of gem, something to look out for, because I totally see how they're doing the thesis, the antithesis thing, and they're trying to control both. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's the skinny. Right now, they're trying to get the Ron Paul people back into the Republican Party to keep it viable, and the Republican Party has not quite finished its usefulness in their eyes. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned the Federal Reserve getting new powers to oversee regulatory agencies and things like that.
Yes.
Here's what they're going to do. They're basically going to put, those rating agencies that rate like different bonds, different countries' currencies, etc.
Sure.
They're basically going to put that control under the Federal Reserve. So essentially what they're going to prevent is some kind of rating organization from saying, yeah, the dollar's worth crap. Mm-hmm. So they can head that off at the pass, because right now, as you guys have probably noticed and I have noticed, they've lost control of the dollar, and they've lost control to a large degree of both political parties and a lot of people. So they're trying to get that all in order, so look out for that.
Well, I don't know if they've lost control of both political parties. I mean, when I see, for instance...
At the top, no.
It's just like, the way I see it, I look at Newt Gingrich now coming out and, Pelosi knew about the torture. So did Newt Gingrich. And Pelosi is another globalist, just like Gingrich is. I mean, in her inception to being Speaker of the House, she talked about the back of the dollar bill and Novus Ordo Seclorum. It's going to be in my next picture, Invisible Empire. Meanwhile, Newt Gingrich is in the Bohemian Grove annals. I mean, they know there's a backdoor government. They know there's a shadow government. They know there's another agenda. They know they're playing WWE politics. They know everybody on the Hill is aware that people are being raped and tortured in Guantanamo Bay on video. I mean, come on. It just drives me nuts.
You're right. I should have rephrased that. At the